Welcome to Acutely Amanda. I'm Amanda. I'm really excited about today's project because I'm finally getting to work on organizing and putting away my sewing and fibercraft and needlework items. Right here you can see this is a wooden hutch is what my family calls it, but it's basically a keepsake box. My father made it. He passed away several years ago, and a family member found it among their things and gave it to my brother, who then gave it to me last summer. And the reason I'm just now getting to using it is because it was full of a lot of things that I needed to go through, including digitizing a bunch of photos, which I posted a video about recently. I'll link that video down below. So now it's ready to use, and I've pulled out all of my sewing, fibercraft, needlework items so I can go through them and basically use this box as a boundary of what I'm allowed to have. It's also next to my table that I use for sewing. Previously, all of this stuff was stuffed into my closet, which made it really difficult to actually do a project. I can't leave things out because I have a cat who I love very much, but I can't actually lock her out of the room where my sewing materials are, so I need to always put everything away for her safety. And I thought it would be much easier to just put it away inside this box right next to where I sew. So that's what I'm working on today, and especially with the scrap fabric, I'm really excited about this because my city recently instituted free fabric and textile recycling. So I had been holding on to a lot of fabric out of just pure guilt and not wanting it to go to the landfill, and now I can actually hold on to things that I think I will really use. So I'm going to work on going through my craft items and seeing if I can get them to fit in this box today.
This video is longer than most of my videos, and that's because I really wanted to show this whole process, because as you'll see as the video progresses, it didn't actually go the way I initially thought it was going to go. And I think it's really important to show that it's not all just that finger snap magic moment that you see in a lot of social media, this decluttering process. It's slow and it's gradual, and you're learning as you go. So there'll be quite a bit of talking, and then there'll also be some instances where I just speed things up and just show the process.
So this dress, when I wore it, it's cool, but it also immediately started shedding sequins. And I had saved it in the thought that I could mend the sequins, but honestly I don't know if that's worth it.
As you can see in this clip, I really had to do a lot of thinking about this dress, and I'm going to be coming back to this dress again later in this video. Not all decisions are quick or easy when you are going through this process, and it often takes longer than you can tell from watching someone's video.
I was wondering why this bag was so large, and I forgot how much of this is t-shirts that are too big for me. That I have a book with instructions on remaking t-shirts into wearable items if they're too large for you. So these are my large t-shirts that I'm saving for doing that project. Oh gosh, this is a disaster. This is a disaster piece of fabric. I really need to trim this down to make it more usable. Actually, I'm going to rearrange these slightly. This is fabric that is usable the way it is, and this is fabric that I need to trim before I put it away. These are projects I'm working on, and then this is just fabric that's ready to go as it is. Like, I can do projects with it as it is. So this is the interesting thing about this, and you know, this is why it's important to stay on top of your projects and be realistic about what you can get done. So this is fabric that I all really like, and that it just needs to be trimmed down to be usable for projects. So why did I not just trim it down before I put it away? I don't know. That's clearly a standard I need to set for myself, though, is that when I am saving something for future use, I need to actually trim it down before I put it away in my fabric pile. Because there's definitely, like, some of this is usable fabric and some isn't, and why am I taking up space on the non-usable fabric? So I have that. And then I have projects. So I really care about low waste and reuse of things, especially if I really liked them. So this is the dress that I wore for my spouse's and my engagement party, which is way too large on me now, and I don't think I will probably ever be this size again. But I wanted to reuse the fabric, probably just the bottom of it, to make a skirt that I could wear. I like to wear skirts, so that's a project. So there's one. And then this is similar, except it's not sentimental. Like, I really like this fabric and it'll be really easy. Like, this would be a less than an hour project to cut this dress down and make it into a skirt. So just lop it off and make it a skirt. So that's project 2. And then this is the same thing. It's fabric I like. The dress is too big on me now, so lop it off and make a skirt out of it. So I have 3 pending skirts that I need to make. And then I have my t-shirts that I wanted to make into a t-shirt project. So that's 4 projects. 5 if you count the fact that I was saving this flannel to make sleep masks, so that you put over your eyes when you go to sleep, for myself and my spouse. So that's 5 projects. And when is the last time I did a sewing project? And why was I not doing it? Because everything was so inaccessible to me. I couldn't, it would take me a couple of hours to get set up to do the 1-hour project, and I'm being generous with myself by saying a couple of hours. So yeah, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I don't think it's worth it to try to fix the sequins on this dress. It was a cheap dress. I don't regret buying it because this is from one of the last times my husband and I went out before the multi-year spanning event, which I won't name. So I have very fond memories, and I'm glad that I went all out and splurged a little bit for that and got this dress. My only regret is, like, now I understand more about fast fashion than I did then, and so I would have understood, if I had understood that this was probably designed to be worn once or twice, I would have splurged more and got something nicer that I could rewear a lot. But these sequins are just not realistic, and the mere thought of, like, these falling off while I'm wearing it, especially around my cat, it stresses me out too much. So I'm going to send that into our town's fabric recycling. Now I'm wondering, as I'm organizing this, if I realistically should have one collection of fabric that I don't have a particular project in mind for yet. Oh gosh, I just remembered. I also have this fabric, which is brand new fabric for making a brand new skirt I have the pattern for, and I haven't made it yet. In any case, I'm wondering if I should have one bag for items, for fabric that's just, that doesn't have a project attached to it yet, and a separate bag for the ones that are a project. And I think that's probably a good idea. Okay. love this fabric, but it does not fit me anymore, and it has some pit stains that are just never going to come out. So I've just got to decide where to cut this fabric to get the greatest usability out of it. I had to go in the other room where I'd have room to spread this out, because basically the middle was ruined, but the edges were fine, and cutting out just the middle was too challenging in a place where I couldn't actually lay it down. And I just realized I shouldn't put that in the scrap fabric. I should, this is a known project. Okay, so I was thinking my mood bag, mood could be my known project bag. My cat is destroying the couch behind the camera, as she is wont to do. Alright, I don't know if it's really taking up a lot less room, but it's at least all fabric I have an ability to use. Oh good, you can see in here. Now I'm curious, I still need to go through this, but my mother-in-law gave this to me, and I really like this sewing container, so I want to see if it will fit. That fits nicely, but let's see. That's definitely it for fabric, so I'm going to run to the fabric drop off while it's still nice out, and then I will be back. Okay, I am back from dropping off the fabric at the fabric recycling place, and in all honesty, feeling a little bit downtrodden because this isn't going as smoothly as I had envisioned in my mind, but I am just going to be kind to myself and do my best to, in the next 30 to 40 minutes, get through as much of the sewing materials as I can and see what I can get put in here so that I can hopefully sew next week or this weekend. And if the other fiber stuff can't be dealt with today, that's okay. So I'm going to start by going through my sewing box, since that's the next most important thing. This is definitely going to be in here. Okay. Alright, I think you can see me here. Yes, okay. pattern in here. I made this vest. Oh, and another pattern. I made this bunny. Wow, I have not. This is a corset pattern. Wow, you cannot see that. Ugh. Gosh, how did I end up with this? Slash, will I ever make it? Who knows? Oh, one of my friends gave me this pattern. It's for a dress. I think that's beyond my ability right now. Oh yeah, and a nice simple tank top. This could be another option for those dresses I wanted to remake. I might take one of them and make it into a top instead of a skirt. Well, that's all of my patterns, so we're gonna put those on the bottom. I'm not too surprised that most of what's in this is usable, because I don't know, I find when I have like a nice place to put things, I'm good about it. That wasn't too bad to go through. Okay. The next problem though is my pins. There's room for my pins in there too, which is great. Alright. I'm pretty sure none of this is sewing related, but I'm going to double check. Oh, there's a button that definitely belongs to the sewing materials. Alright. This is a sentimental item that doesn't belong in here. Pins. I need to figure out what to do with those. Oh. Why do I have more than one sewing gauge? Alright, that's that. That's that, that's that. And then I've got this ginormous bag. I just gotta check through sewing items. These are sewing items. Sentimental. Alright. Anything in this sewing. I think this is all needlepoint and jewelry making. Some of this is my thread for mending, which I also use in some of my needlepoint, but mostly in mending. I feel like mending needs to go with sewing, but I can't for the life of me figure out how to do it in a way that makes sense today. Understand if there's something different between these two sewing gauges. One is blue and one is purple. I don't know. I guess I'm going to hold on to the second one until I've sewn another project, just because maybe there's some reason for me to have two that I don't understand currently. As you can, I don't know if you can see, but these are cute pins, but they fell out of their container. And they're just dangerous the way they are right now in this Ziploc. the ones that are still in the container are fine. I've got a bunch of these, and I assume there's a reason. You can't see, it's like a T shape. I assume there's a reason for that. I think if I put these with the other pins, I'll at least know they're there and hopefully shouldn't hurt myself on them. Next thing I need to do is find the sewing machine pedal and plug. My sewing machine, I don't know, yeah, you can see the green over here. That's my sewing machine. It's in a cover that my mother-in-law made to keep it safe. So that is over there safe. Alright, I found it. See, that's exactly what I meant about projects being difficult to accomplish because I can't find things. Alright. What do people usually do with these? Like, do other people just have enough room to leave their sewing machine set up full time? It just doesn't seem like it's easy to put away in a way that makes sense. Alright. I should be able to safely just slide this in. Perfect. Alright. So I think that I'm correct that I can just put my two mending kits right here safely. Bam. Alright. I still have 10 to 15 minutes on my timer. So going to try to shift the rest of my other things out of this kind of terrible bag into this box. Some way, shape, or form. Start with the things that are easy. New projects. Okay, yes, and this crochet project and in the middle of probably actually should go in the project bin, but I'm keeping that to sewing for now, so okay. This belongs with okay. Alright, I already have this Ziploc bag for embroidery thread, and yet embroidery thread is literally everywhere. Oh my gosh. I have another Ziploc bag for embroidery thread. What a disaster. Alright, that is trash. Alright, let's just get as much embroidery thread as possible into the Ziploc. Something that I learned from watching the Hoarder's Heart YouTube channel is when you're feeling overwhelmed by a lot of disorganized stuff, it can help to, instead of, you know, I could say to myself, wow, you have too much embroidery thread, you need to get rid of some of it, and try to make myself make those decisions right now. But instead of doing that, all I'm doing is I'm putting it all together. So I'm finding it and I'm putting it all together. And I'm getting rid of things that are obviously trash. Do not ask me why in the past I just threw the ends of thread in here when I was embroidering. I don't know why I did that. But it is something that I did. and so I'm dealing with it now. This is an adorable bag that I'm definitely going to keep to put things in. So yeah, so all I'm doing is collecting all of it together into one place, and later I can sit down and go through it and see if I actually need it all. Goodness. Oh. This is for crochet. Why was it in with all this embroidery stuff? Don't know. Can't tell you. What are you doing on time? It's been less than 5 minutes. Alright. Got, yeah, that's drunk. I need to test out these two, a pen and a highlighter, to see if they still work. And that's just another empty Ziploc. So I'm only holding on to while I sort through these things, because some of these are little things that I think I need to subdivide in order to make it work. Okay. Alright. That goes together. Oh my goodness, it belongs up here. Alright, that bag is empty. And also, wow, does that really need to be washed? Really needs to be washed. I'll be washing that later. Alright. There's another empty Ziploc in case I need it. This is all yarn that I purchased for a project that I haven't done yet. So. Alright, this is the one that I'm dreading. This Ziploc bag is a disaster. And I have less than 10 minutes, maybe like 5 minutes to try to get through it. Needle felting, embroidery, oh my goodness, it's my embroidery hoop. Do not know what this blue embroidery cloth goes to. Attached to this. This is also for mala making. Yes, this is attached to this. Okay, mala making. I do not know why I had all of these safety pins. I'm sure I had a reason, but I don't know what they are currently. This is for an embroidery kit. This is for mala making. Embroidery kit. Embroidery kit. My memory was that I was much further along on this project than I am. I was not as far along as I thought. Okay. Oh my gosh, loose needles again. Mala making. Mala making. Mala making. Mala making. Ah, more loose needles. Oh my goodness. value in here. Alright, now I just need to baggie these up so that they're together in ways that make sense. So, I think this is the largest bag I have. While I'm making this close, just a question. Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm keeping this embroidery floss with this kit because it goes with this kit. It's numbered to go with this kit, so it won't make much sense if I stash it with the other embroidery floss. Alright. Let's everything. I think. For right now. Okay, I think this is the last thing I need to look at. This is all fiber craft. Sorry. And I just want to make sure that everything in this is fiber craft related. So I've got crochet hooks, various other things, yeah. And then the rest of this is just yarn. So right now, since I'm almost out of time, pop it here. Okay. So that's all fiber crafts. And then, oh, this is also for fiber crafts. It's going to be a project for another day. And then will I be able to fit this all in here? I like how it's like this will be an easy boundary and I'm like, will it fit? There we go. It fits. So this isn't exactly how I imagined this going, but it is still good. So we've got the sewing box. We've got the mending boxes with the needles that I use for both sewing and for embroidery. So it's very accessible if I decided to embroider. We have my sewing pedal. We have another thing of pins. We have my sewing mats that I cut things out on. And we have my 5 pending, 5? Can't remember if it was 4 or 5. But I have my pending projects in here. So the rest of the things for the fiber crafts for now are just going to have to go back in the closet until I work my way through some of this sewing project. But that's okay. I'm going to have more room in the closet, so when I put things away it'll be a little bit easier to get to them, I hope. And I should hopefully be able to sew soon. I don't know if you can tell, but no, you can't see it. Sewing tabletop needs to be cleaned up a little, so I still need to do that, but I don't have time to do that today, so I'll do that at a different time. But yeah, I am pleased. It is a process. I have to remind myself of that. Every little bit helps. I have gotten through so much in the last few months, you know. I couldn't have even used this even 3 months ago to put anything in, and it has been restored and kept safe and cleaned up, and now I can use it when I sew. And hopefully I'll be able to start sewing again soon. And as I work my way down in the future, I can use this as a boundary for my projects and say, you know, let's not expand out past this. I think it's a mistake I made in the past, not having a boundary for my projects. So thank you for watching today and joining me on my journey as I try to get out from underneath this backlog of crafting supplies. And be sure to check out my crafty stash videos where I work my way through a bunch of these projects, and hopefully I don't think I've talked about this. I've decided to set myself a rule which I use for decluttering my books. I also have videos about decluttering my books. So I have a to be read pile for my books, and this year I have made the rule that each month I have to either read one or get rid of one without reading it. And that has been really keeping me on top of that pile. So my rule for my sewing fiber arts projects is each month I need to either do a project or get rid of a project. And I will be kind to myself with doing a project because some of them take more time than others, and say it counts if I've put at least 4 hours into working on a project as doing a project. That's an hour a week. I feel like it's very reasonable. So that's my rule, and so hopefully you'll start to see some more videos coming up on the Craft to Stash playlist on my channel. So thank you for watching and joining me on my journey. Bye!